Okay.
Turn your mics on.
Mics on, please. All right, we got the lower third up there. We're going to go ahead and call to order the regular meeting of the Oakdale City Council, August 25th, 2026. Sarah, will you please take the roll?
Councilmember Moore?
Here.
Councilmember Morcom?
Here.
Councilmember Severson?
Here.
Councilmember Rich?
Here.
Mayor Zabel?
Here. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up in front of us is approval of the agenda. Council members, no changes on the agenda in front of us. Can I get a motion to approve as presented?
So
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is adopted. Next up, approval of minutes. Two sets in front of us. Workshop minutes from August 12th. Any changes or corrections here, council members? Seeing none, can I get a motion?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Motion and a second. Any conversation?
No.
Thank you for clarifying.
We're good.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? And those workshop minutes are adopted. Next up, regular meeting minutes, August 12th, 2026. Any changes or corrections here? Seeing none, can I get a motion?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second? Motion a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And those minutes are adopted as well. Next up on our agenda is public hearings. We do have one in front of us tonight, a public hearing for Mr. Car Wash located at 7099 11th Street North. We will start with a staff presentation. Luke.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So, yes, this request, it's located at 7099 11th Street North. That's the former Hardy site. The request here is to enable development of a car wash at that property. So the request involves two things: a planned unit development, or PUD amendment, which is essentially a zoning change, and a conditional use permit to allow the car wash. So the zoning of this site and the area is Tartan Crossing PUD. The PUD expressly prohibits car washes and motor fuel station car washes. So the stated purpose and intent of the Tartan Crossing PUD is to, and I quote, provide for a compact, walkable, mixed-use development along a key corridor and gateway. So staff find that the proposed amendment is inconsistent with the PUD and the long-term vision for pedestrian-friendly uses within the Tartan Crossing area. So in addition, the proposed use may generate negative external effects such as increased noise on adjacent businesses and residential property, and by creating conflicts with the mixed-use pedestrian-supported neighborhood. I want to acknowledge that while the Tartan Crossing area contains some businesses with auto-oriented features, these are accessory to the primary uses, which serve both pedestrians and automobile users, whereas a car wash would provide services exclusively to automobile users. So for the conditional use permit component of this request, again, the subject property being located within the Tartan Crossing PUD area, car washes are prohibited. As such, the use is not permitted and the conditional use permit should be denied. So at the Planning Commission hearing, this was back on August 6th of this, a few weeks back, and there was an adjacent property owner who expressed concerns about noise impacts to the business from the proposed use. There was also a neighbor who expressed support for the use. The commission recommended approval of the planned unit development amendment and also the conditional use permit. So just to conclude here, staff maintains its recommendation of denial for both the PUD amendment and the conditional use permit based on the findings stated in the resolutions that are in the agenda packet. So I will jump to the first resolution. So this is 2026-57. So three findings here. So the first one is that the proposed car wash conflicts with the stated purpose and intent of the Tartan Crossing PUD, which is to provide for a compact, walkable, mixed-use development along a key corridor and gateway. And number two, the proposed use conflicts with the pedestrian-friendly environment envisioned for the Tartan Crossing PUD. Number three, the subject property is adjacent to residential land use, and the proposed car wash is anticipated to generate negative externalities and nuisance conditions. So jumping to the next resolution, so this is 2026-56 for the conditional use permit. Two findings there. Again, As mentioned, number one there, the car wash and motor fuel station car washes are prohibited uses in the Tartan Crossing PUD. And number two, the car wash conflicts with the stated purpose and intent of the PUD area. So as a reminder, this is a public hearing. I believe the full team for the applicant is here. Staff is happy to answer any questions as well, and I want to acknowledge that we received a number of written comments that have been forwarded to the City Council prior to this meeting for review and consideration. We also received an email late this evening, about 30 minutes before this meeting started. Just want to acknowledge that that was received by the City Council. I got some printouts of written correspondence if the council would like. Thank you.
Council members, any questions for Luke? I have a clarifying question for our city attorney, Jim. Public hearing is for the PUD amendment only, correct? Because that's what's specified in code
That's correct.
Okay. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing. This is an opportunity for anybody in the audience joining us that would like to speak to this agenda item only. Please feel free to step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and proceed with your comments. Under the rules of a public hearing here in Oakdale, comments are limited to 3 minutes per person.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Ed Caples with Mr. Car Wash. Today, we're asking for 2 actions on the vacant Farmers Hardee's pad. First, an amendment moving car wash from the prohibited use list to a conditional use, and then second, a conditional use permit for our facility. On August 6th, your Planning Commission heard the staff report, recommend denial, heard our presentation, held the public hearing, and voted unanimously to recommend approval of both of our requests. The question before you is whether this use fits Tartan Crossing, and the city's own record answers it. The stated intent of the PUD is to provide a compact, walkable, mixed-use development. However, through the city's own policy decisions, what has been built does not reflect this original vision. In 2014, the council amended this PUD to permit motor fuel sales and approved a coffee shop drive-through. In 2016, the council approved a drive-through restaurant on this very pad, further degrading the intent of the PUD. In 2022, the PUD was amended again, which removed grocery pickup kiosk sales from the list of prohibited uses and raised the drive-through cap from 5 to 8. Each of these was a deliberate policy decision, which now results in over 1 million visits to the Tartan Crossing PUD. The Planning Commission asked thoughtful questions. They asked about our traffic. Our analysis shows 123 fewer daily trips than a standard fast food restaurant. On stacking, we hold 22 vehicles in the POS queuing lanes with the potential for 35 on site. Projected peak demand is 59 cars an hour, while the store has the capacity to process up to 120 an hour. Since capacity is roughly double demand, the queuing lane drains faster than it forms. The city engineer has reviewed our traffic and stacking analysis and found it compliant, and this proposal will not create negative externalities and nuanced conditions. Noise was also discussed by the commissioners and was brought up during the public hearing. Every vehicle is washed inside the building with silencers on the blowers and no outdoor speakers anywhere on the site. Obviously, we are still in the design phase, but we plan to enclose the vacuum producer and will increase the height of the retaining walls in the back. Make no mistake, we will meet the city's noise requirements and will provide a sound study at the site plan review to conform adherence to the code. Finally, we sat down with the residents at New Perspective, showed them our renderings, and asked for their feedback. No major objections were raised, and they told us they walk that area and value the bench near the pond. So we will incorporate pedestrian amenities into our plan, which are consistent with the PUD requirements. Today, this pad is not producing any economic activity. What we are proposing is entirely privately funded. No public subsidy, no off-site infrastructure. This proposal activates an underutilized pad and puts the site back to work. We respectfully request that the council approve the PUD amendment and conditional use permit. Thank you. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. During a public hearing, there aren't any questions from council for those speaking. Is there anybody else that would like to speak under the public hearing tonight?
Hi, Mayor and members of council. My name is Rowan Oxenfield. I've lived in Oakdale for about 23 years. I'm here tonight to speak in support of the proposed Mr. Car Wash development. I wanted to speak because I have a unique perspective on this project. Not only have I lived in Oakdale most of my life, but I recently joined Mr. Car Wash through its management training program. As someone who's still pretty new to the company, I've had the chance to see firsthand how they have invested in their employees, their customers, and the communities where they operate. Before working for Mister, I never thought much about car washes, but since joining the company, I've learned a lot about what goes into running a modern car wash. It's not just about cleaning cars, it's about creating a convenient and enjoyable experience that people use regularly, especially here in Minnesota where road salt, snow, and changing weather can be rough on vehicles. Having that option available right here in Oakdale would save residents time and keep more of the spending in our community. What has impressed me most as a new employee is the culture. I've been given opportunities to learn, develop leadership skills, and prepare for a long-term career. For someone just starting out in management program, that's meaningful. This location would create jobs and provide opportunities for others who are looking for training, growth, and career path like the one I'm pursuing. As a resident, I want Oakdale to continue growing in ways that make sense. This project would bring a useful service to the community, create local jobs, and add to commercial amenities that residents expect. I believe this would be a positive addition to Oakdale, and I respectfully encourage the council to approve the proposal. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor and council members, my name is Rick Tim. I'm the owner of the All Family Dental Professional Building at 1075 Hadley Avenue North. This is just west of the proposed site. In case others don't know this, there are actually 8 car washes within 3 miles of this location. We are not short of car washes. If you include the ones out 6 miles, there are 6 additional ones. So there's 14 car washes for people to choose from. We are not short on car washes. Having said that, and having a compact time, I don't see any compelling evidence that we need another car wash that would overrule the planned unit development that was thoughtfully done in 2011. In 2011, the city bought that property, and it turned into quite a blighted property, and it was after 2 years of planning, this was determined to be the best alternative, and I think we have to give them credit for perhaps having that right. I did hear the Mr. Car Wash agents talk about the appropriateness of more auto-centric things in this development by saying, well, you have a gas station. Well, we had a gas station anyways. Gas stations tend to go together, and there's a Circle K, an Old Holiday was right next door. And if you're going to get a fast food restaurant, you're going to get a drive-through. Having said that, it's not the same use. Those facilities are not noisy. They will not produce any unusual noise over their normal course of business. However, the vacuum pumps, the vacuum stations, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., 7 days a week, 4 weeks a month, 12 months a year, year after year after year. I sit in the dental office oftentimes, and I see residents, young and old, going around that rain garden. I call it a rain garden. I know it's a sewer management thing, but I call it a rain garden. And they're having the quiet enjoyment of that. And I think that was what the planned unit development initial was thinking would be the best use. This is for sure not what they were thinking about. Ultimately, I think the rule of city governance is not to unduly weigh the benefits of increased property values. I don't really care that it's producing taxes or not. The city might. The benefits to me as a business owner, the benefits to Mr. Car Wash as a business owner. But I think it's supposed to represent the changes that are in the public good and ultimately in the best interests of residents. And I really don't think that this makes the cut, in my opinion. And I have other data that I shared with you by email. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi there. So I'm Dean Wangren at 6550 15th Street Circle North in Oakdale. So I want to speak out in favor of the car wash. I live about 4 blocks away, and I think it'd be really handy to have one of the faster conveyor belt style car washes. So I don't know if there's 8 car washes nearby. There's certainly like 3 car washes, within a reasonable distance, but they're all kind of the gas station attached ones. And what I notice especially is in the spring, they're really slow. So it'd be great if there was one that, especially when it's kind of rainy and mucky out, you could go quickly and get your car washed. And I'm hoping this could do that. Also, it'd be really handy because it's right by Hy-Vee. So that's where we get our gas. We could just run over and wash the car. All right, well, that's it.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak under the public hearing tonight?
Hello, my name's Marlena Hernandez, and I work for All Family Dental. We have a lot of residents that come from local areas, and after speaking with a resident at the new perspective, it sounds like a lot of the residents there are not necessarily in favor of a car wash. They would prefer a restaurant. I do understand the value of having a car wash. However, again, I do agree that we're going to have more traffic, which is good for our community. However, right now, what I notice working at the dental office with the construction, I don't foresee that we have the correct traffic meters there to manage if we add. So I guess I would want to know, are we going to add additional traffic meters there, stop signs, stoplight, to help with that? And I do have concerns for the people that do live next door at New Perspective, because is this the best option for them? Because some of them don't travel, and it would be nice for them to have a restaurant next door again. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to speak under tonight's public hearing? Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back up for council consideration. Council members, do we have any additional questions for city staff? Jim, do you have anything for us?
Mr. Mayor, I will after a motion is made.
Okay. Council members, two motions in front of us. Is there somebody that would like to make the first motion?
I will make the first motion. I recommend we waive reading and adopt Resolution 2026-57, denying an application for an amendment to the Tartan Crossing Planned Unit Development to allow a car wash at 7099 11th Street North.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Comments? Jim?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I recommend we add an additional finding to the proposed resolution based on statements that were made by the applicant tonight. And my suggested wording of that for an additional finding is that unlike the current proposed use, previous amendments to the Tartan Crossing PUD referenced by the applicant did not involve a use that was exclusively for vehicles.
Okay. Council members, is there anybody that would like to offer an amendment adding that additional finding to the underlying resolution?
Yeah, I'll make that motion to add that additional language.
There's a motion on the amendment. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the amendment is adopted. Back to Resolution 2026-57 as amended. Any conversation on that? Jim, anything else?
No.
Okay. We've had a motion. We've had a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And Resolution 2026-57, denying an application, is adopted. Jim, since we are not amending the PUD, is the CUP action necessary, or is it moot?
Mr. Mayor, yes, there's still an action necessary on that because it is a pending application that's subject to a time limit. And the findings in there are based on the fact that because you did not approve the PUD amendment, the use is not allowed, and therefore you can't grant a CUP for it.
Got it. Will somebody make that action?
Sure, I'll make that motion that we waive reading and adopt Resolution 2026-58, denying an application for a conditional use permit for car wash at 7099 11th Street North.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any final comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And Resolution 2026-58 is adopted. Next, we'll move into open forum. Before we open the floor to any comments, we have three items on the agenda in front of us tonight. First up, the 2025 GreenStep Cities Award presentation. Do we have a staff presentation? Oh, hi. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and thank you to Hannah for the invite this evening. As the Minnesota GreenStep Cities Co-Director at the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, I am pleased to join you this evening to recognize the City of Oakdale's achievement and progress in the GreenStep program. Oakdale joined the program in March of 2012, reaching step 1 by signing a council resolution. Since that time, the city has progressed through all 5 steps of the program and has achieved steps 4 and 5 9 years in a row now. You are one of the longest tenured cities reaching step 4 and 5 in the program. Oakdale has reported 55 actions, completing 20 of the 29 sustainability best practices that range from education and outreach to implementation and infrastructure, planning and policy, and more. Steps 4 and 5 are achieved annually by reporting and analyzing outcomes that those actions have had on the community over time and showing improvement in metrics. The menu of metrics includes 125 unique data points, of which Oakdale has reported 90 in this last year. And I wanted to highlight just a few of those metrics that kind of rose to our attention as interesting and notable. So between 2016 and 2025 of all reporting years, Oakdale has seen an increase in LED lighting used in city buildings grow from 2% in 2016 as reported to 50% in 2025, maybe a little bit more with some city hall remodeling. The city added its first city-owned or leased electric vehicle to the city fleet in 2025 with the police department. 100% of Oakdale's housing is located within 1 mile of a bicycle route, and 96.5% is located within a half mile of a parkland. The city planted 347 net new trees in 2025 and gave away an additional 200 trees for free to residents with the Arbor Day tree giveaway. Oakdale purchased just under 3,800 megawatt hours per year of renewable energy for city operations in 2025, which makes up 97% of total city operation electricity needs, up from 0% in 2018. And the city hosted its first Eco Fair in April of 2025 with 18 vendors representing local watershed district, energy nonprofits, garden clubs, and more. So with that, just a little snapshot of what has been reported for the city in the program. I'd like to bring to you today your 2026 recognition blocks for your 2025 reporting and congratulate you on reaching step 4 and 5 again this year.
Council, let's go down and grab a photo.
I wore my green shirt.
Hannah, you're in on the photo too. Yeah. You're doing all the work. All right, stand right here. Hannah, come on in.
You go in the middle.
Yep. Everybody sees. All right. With a stack of all the
You can do a bobsled here.
Yeah.
All right.
Right order.
Well, before we move on, I just want to say a big thank you to our team, beginning with Hannah Dunn, our Senior Community Development Specialist, who leads all of our you do absolutely incredible work in this space. You keep our Environmental Management Commission on track and focused. all of those data metrics behind the scenes. It's easy to just look at two little blocks of wood and say, yay, us, but there is so much data that goes into these applications every single year, and it's our talented community development team led by Hannah's efforts that bring all of that information to life. So a big thank you for all of your great work. Also a big thank you to our Environmental Management Commission. Things like the Eco Fair started as a wild brainchild of theirs at some point, and now that we've done it 2 years in a row, it's getting bigger and better every single year, making a huge impact towards the goals of the GreenStep program. So a lot of progress has been made, whether it's the programs that we've brought back, like our community cleanup event in the fall each year, the new events that we're creating, and all of the good work that all of our city staff are doing every single day to support the GreenStep program. So a big thank you to our team. Kelly, please share that throughout the organization. Hannah, thank you for everything you do to keep us all on track and keep us meeting our goals. We do appreciate it. We also have a couple proclamations that I'm issuing. First up, recognizing Building and Code Professional Appreciation Day. Whereas building and code professionals ensure that all aspects of building code administration, code enforcement, rental housing, licensing, and other duties are performed in a timely and professional manner. And whereas building and code professionals devote countless hours keeping up with regulation changes that affect the building and code enforcement industries. And whereas building and code professionals are primarily out in the field where they can encounter rough terrain, heights, depths, narrow spaces, construction equipment and activities, unfavorable weather, especially in Minnesota, irate people, hopefully not, canines, and other potential hazards. Whereas despite hazards, building and code professionals are fully dedicated to ensuring that buildings are built strong, they're built safe, and they remain secure for everybody in our community. And whereas the city of Oakdale strongly supports the skilled work of its building and code professionals. Therefore, I, Kevin Zabel, Mayor of Oakdale, Minnesota, do hereby proclaim September 1st as Building and Code Professional Appreciation Day in the city of Oakdale. We are incredibly fortunate to have an outstanding team here in our city. It falls under our community development department. Greg Brady, our chief building official. Man, we have thrown a lot at him the last few years. As you look at all of the building that's happening in our community in East Metro, every day is something new, and that work is done on top of just those daily duties. Enforcing the city code, doing the rental license inspections, all of that necessary work that happens whether a community is building and developing or not. They cover so much ground, and we could not be a city, a safe city, a stable city without their efforts. So we really do thank them for everything they contribute to our community. Our second proclamation is recognizing Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. Whereas suicide is a national public health challenge that causes immeasurable pain among individuals, families, and communities across the country. And whereas more than 800 lives are lost in Minnesota each year. And whereas suicide is the second leading cause of death for people ages 10 to 24. And whereas on average 132 Americans die by suicide each day and over 2 million attempt suicide each year. And whereas public awareness of this tragic problem is key to preventing further suffering and loss of life. And whereas the risk for suicide can be reduced through awareness, education, and treatment. And whereas everyone in the community can play a role in preventing suicide and are encouraged to know the signs, find the words, and reach out. And whereas depression is a treatable illness and approximately 80% of people who seek help for depression experience improvement when treated with therapy and or medication. And whereas support is available by calling the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline at 988 or 1-800-273-8255. Or you can text HOME to the crisis text line at 741-741. Therefore, I, Kevin Zabel, Mayor of Oakdale, Minnesota, do hereby proclaim September as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in the city of Oakdale. Each year it seems like the stats related to suicide and attempted suicide continue to climb off the charts. We all know that the need for mental and behavioral health supports in every single community grows exponentially. We know, especially in certain professions, the rate of suicide and attempted suicide is even higher. Calling on all of us to provide more support to those professions, those individuals in those professions as well. In Oakdale, we're incredibly proud to be now delivering, not rolling out, we are delivering mental and behavioral health supports through our police department, through a partnership with Washington County. If those efforts and those dollars spent on that work saves even one life, it is well worth it. And we're just so excited to be able to provide that new level of support in our community because the need has been there for so long. So we recognize Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in September, but as I said, it's an all year long endeavor that we all need to play a role in recognizing the signs of it, providing the support for those individuals facing those challenges in life, and getting them to the resources they need to help address that. We're still under open forum. This is the time for anybody who's joining us here at the Discovery Center. If you'd like to share anything with us, regardless of the topic, please feel free to step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and proceed with your comments. Before we move on from open forum, that stat, 96.5% of all homes in Oakdale are within 1 mile, I think it was 1 mile or half mile of parkland. I want to know where that 3.5% are. We got a problem to fix. For having, 31 parks now? I cannot picture in my head where those homes would be, but we have some work in front of us. So, all right, let's move into consensus motions. Council members, we have A through E in front of us. Are there any that we need to pull for individual consideration? All right, hearing none, can I get a motion to approve consensus motions as presented?
Make a motion to approve consensus motions as presented.
Motion, is there a second?
Second?
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And A through E are adopted. Let's check in with our advisory boards and commissions. The only one that met was Parks and Rec. They met on last Tuesday? Yeah, a week ago. Councilmember Morecambe, what are they working on?
Yeah, no, we talked about the excitement around the new parks. Excuse me here. The new parks that are going to be worked on, Tower and Gulfview. Also the engagement coming up for Tanners, and there's been a lot of engagement. There's more coming this week about upgrades there. And also next month, they're going to be holding their walking tour at Everly Park. So their meeting for Parks and Rec will be there, and that'll be shared out publicly soon.
Fantastic. Once we get that date set and out there, we hope everybody can join us in Eberly. We'll move on to award of bids. Nothing under there, so we'll go into staff reports. We have a presentation from Community Development. We got a few items.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. So this next request is from Les Schwab. The property is located at the southeast quadrant of 34th Street and Marketplace. It's located west of the McDonald's there by Target. The purpose of the request is that Les Schwab Tire Center, they're seeking approval to build an automotive service and repair business. The request involves a preliminary plat to create 3 lots and a site plan. So the property in total is about 7.5 acres. It's vacant land. The zoning of the site is Oakdale Marketplace, Planned Unit Development, or PUD. So if you recall, in response to a court order, the city recently approved an ordinance amendment and a resolution to allow the proposed use at the site. So the preliminary plat involves proposed Lot 1, which is about 1 acre, and that would contain the tire store. The other 2 outlots, consisting of about 1 acre and 5 acres, would be reserved for future development. The proposed access to the Les Schwab site is off 33rd Street. That's a private street. For park dedication, that has to be satisfied as part of the platting and development agreement process. A credit will be given for the park dedication that was collected for the overall plat of Oakdale Marketplace back in the year 2005. In terms of the site plan, certain elements, including building height, setbacks, lot coverage, parking, landscaping, exterior building materials, and site lighting, those have been met. I would like to note that the developer made a slight update to their site plan to include 6 extra parking spaces and a larger trash enclosure, which complies with the site plan requirements. For stormwater management, the developer will need to work with the watershed district and the city engineer to ensure that proper provisions are installed accordingly. And due to the property being located next to County Highway 14, Washington County Public Works reviewed the request and they did not have any comments on it. The Planning Commission held the required public hearing for this request on August 6th, and they recommended approval. So staff recommends approval of the plat and site plan subject to conditions in the resolutions. So first is Resolution 2026-53 in the agenda packet, so 5 conditions of approval that I will summarize here. So number 1 is execution of a development agreement. Number 2 is seek approval of the site civil construction plans. Number 3, satisfaction of park dedication requirements. Number 4, obtain approval from the fire department for the location of fire department connections and hydrants. And number 5, the developer must obtain outside government agency approvals that apply to the proposal. The other resolution for the site plan, that's 2026-54, I will forego reading those conditions because they are redundant from the other resolution that I just mentioned. But happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Council members, any questions for Luke? Seeing none, who would like to make the resolutions?
I recommend we waive reading and adopt Resolution 2026-53, approving the preliminary plat for Oakdale Marketplace, 7th edition, subject to conditions.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Motion and a second. Any conversation? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 2026-53 is adopted. How about the next action?
I recommend we waive reading and adopt Resolution 2026-54, approving the site plan for Les Schwab, subject to conditions.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Motion and a second. Any final comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 2026-54 is adopted. Next up on the agenda, Luke, do you have a presentation for this one?
Yes, thank you. So Josiah Center is requesting a conditional use permit to allow a church at 533 Hayward Avenue North, Unit 100. The property is zoned B3, that's our light industrial district. Places of worship are permitted through the conditional use permit process for all zoning districts in Oakdale. After review, the proposed church meets the criteria for granting a conditional use permit and the zoning ordinance in staff's analysis of the request. The Planning Commission held the public hearing for this application on August 6th, and they recommended approval. Staff recommends approval of this CUP, subject to just one condition, and this is in Resolution 2026-56. So no parking signage shall be installed along the east drive aisle and along the north side of the building. And that's just to ensure that we can adequately have our emergency vehicles navigate the site for the church. Yeah, happy to answer questions. Thank you.
Council members, any questions for Luke on this item? All right, who wants to dive right in?
I move we waive reading and adopt Resolution 2026-56, approving a conditional use permit for a place of worship church at 533 Hayward Avenue North, with conditions included in the attached resolution.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Motion and a second. Final comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 2026-56 is adopted. Last item, Luke.
Thank you. So this final request for a conditional use permit, it's from True Line Sign Company and MC Geneva Properties LLC. They're requesting a conditional use permit amendment to allow for a 24 square foot electronic dynamic business sign at 1267 Geneva. So there was previously an 11 square foot electronic sign on that property that was approved back in 2010, but this amendment is to, of course, enlarge or allow a much larger electronic sign there. Property is zone B1 commercial, and it contains an existing multi-tenant commercial building. The proposed electronic dynamic business sign meets the general and specific criteria of the zoning ordinance. In staff's analysis of the request, the Planning Commission held the required public hearing for this application on August 6th, and they recommended approval. So as such, staff is recommending approval of this request subject to 8 conditions in the resolution 2026-55 in the agenda packet. So do my best to summarize these conditions here. So number 1 is that the sign shall be installed on the existing sign, pylon sign, or a replacement pylon sign if the existing pylon sign is removed. Number 2, the sign shall have a minimum display duration of 30 seconds. Number 3, only static messages on the sign. Number 4, the sign cannot exceed 24 square feet in size. And number 5, the sign shall not exceed 2,500 nits between the hours of civil sunrise and sunset. Actually, so number 6 is a modification or a modified condition from the Planning Commission when we brought that to them. So the sign, because it's next to residential property, it's subject to having more restrictive illumination standards at nighttime from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. It cannot exceed 250 nits. Number 7, the sign shall have a functional off switch that automatically turns the display off if the display deteriorates by 10% or more. And finally, number 8, the applicant must obtain a sign permit through the city. Happy to answer questions. Thank you.
Council members, any questions for Luke on this? CUP. Seeing none, who wants to dive in?
I move we waive reading and adopt Resolution 2026-55, approving a conditional use permit amendment for an electronic message sign at 1267 Geneva Avenue North, with conditions included in the attached resolution.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any final comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 2026-55 is adopted. Thank you, Luke. Busy night for Luke. He had a lot. Let's move on to checking with our city attorney. Jim, anything for us tonight?
Mr. Mayor and Council's nothing further. Happy to answer questions.
Anything for Jim? All right, let's check in with our city administrator. Kelly, what do you have for us tonight?
I do not have anything for you tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Kelly? Let's move on to council presentations. I'm already looking this way. Anything down here?
I do.
All right, Councilmember Moore, take it away.
All right. Well, we had last week the employee appreciation event for the city, and I just wanted to thank the committee that planned it, and thank all the city staff. I mean, what an incredible event. My favorite was seeing the animals paired with their owners. That was fun. It was fun.
Pictures, right?
Pictures,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Who owned which animal? Maybe that's a better way to say it. But just really huge thank you to all our city staff for everything they do and to the committee that plans so much for them.
Does anybody have a llama or a peacock or anything fun?
There was no llama, but there was a cockatiel?
Oh.
Yeah.
Belonging to...
Yeah, I wish I could remember, but we made there were
We remember
jokes.
the animals.
There were jokes. But I
Michaela
don't
Waggy
remember
from
who owned
Finance.
it. Who did?
Michaela Waggy from Finance.
Okay. But yeah, that was fun.
Very cool, very cool. Councilmember Rich, anything?
No.
All right, how about down here?
Nothing for me.
Nothing here.
All right, I have a few announcements to share about upcoming happenings in the city. Tomorrow night tomorrow night we have another community engagement taking place down at Tenners Lake Park from 6 to 8 p.m. We are looking for community feedback on design details related to the playground design. This event will be an open house style. Attendees can meet at the park building, the beach house. I'm not even going to mention the inclement weather because it's not going to rain tomorrow, I don't think. So we'll be fine. The event will be tomorrow, Wednesday, August 26th from 6 to 8 p.m. We have some pretty cool designs of what that playground could look like, and so we would love the community's feedback on that. A reminder, city offices will be closed on Monday, September 7th in observance of Labor Day. City facilities will reopen the following day. As always, emergency services are available. A big reminder, save the date, our second city cleanup event. Is this our third?
Be your third.
Third? Yeah, let's go with that. The citywide cleanup event is back on Saturday, September 19th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at our brand new Public Works campus. First time it is there, 3200 Granada Avenue. This is a great opportunity for residents to conveniently and safely dispose of furniture, electronics, hard to recycle items. This event is for Oakdale residents only. I will be standing out there checking IDs, so don't try it, all you Lake Elmo people. And proof of residency is required. There we go. Also, if you're driving, you're supposed to have your driver's license on you anyways. So check. Business items will not be accepted. Please see the city website, oakdalemn.gov, for full information on what is accepted, what's not accepted, and any fees associated with accepted items. So glad we brought this event back 3 years ago. Always a resident favorite, very popular event. Stuff naturally accumulates in our homes. This is a great way to get rid of it at a very cost-effective way. Also, a big thank you to all of our partners that contribute to this event. We don't do it alone. So, check out the city website for all of those items, and we hope to see you out there on September 19th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. A reminder, Oakdale's annual photo contest is back. We want to see all of your snapshots from every corner of our city. Photographers of all skill levels can submit photos by September 30th. They don't have to be photos that you take like on the spot. If you have them from earlier in the year, any point since the last time we ran this contest last fall, we want those photos. So go through your iPhones. Do people actually print photos anymore? No, they don't do that. Go through your digital cameras. If you have a great snapshot of something that happened in our city, we want to see it. The only rule really is that photos must be taken in Oakdale. Visit the city website, oakdalemn.gov, for all contest rules and to learn how you can submit those photos. Another reminder, Oakdale, the city farmers market continues every Wednesday from 2 to 6 p.m. at the Walton Park West parking lot off of 15th Street. We only have 8 markets left for the season. Cue ominous music. Still lots of great produce, baked goods. You can get your knives sharpened out there most weeks. A lot of great stuff happening out there. There's only 8 left. That one hurts a little bit, because we know what comes next. What comes next is the indoor market here at the Discovery Center during the winter, so we'll be fine. But we hope you can join us at the farmers market. Always a lot of great shopping can be done there. Finally, good luck to our local students, teachers, and support staff. They head back to school. Always a very exciting time for the parents. Kids, hit or miss. But good luck to all of them. Good luck to all of the teachers, support staff. Good luck to our SRO, Officer Brunn, at Tartan. Always very exciting when they head back to school. So let's pay some bills. Claims roster, August 13th through August 25th. Ooh, 4.2 million. Must be some construction bills in there. Council, do we need to pull any out for additional information? Nope, let's pay it. All right, who wants to make the motion?
I move to approve claims for the period of August 13th, 2026 to August 25th, 2026 in the amount of $4,213,141.12.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bills are paid. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you and good night.